up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Ice Cold Truth, where we get into some ice and we talk truth. Truth. It's gonna be truth. It's gonna be real today.
Our truth.
One of two things are gonna happen. Either one, we're gonna scare you to death. Hopefully, you never become an entrepreneur, because to be honest, it sucks sometimes. Or two, we're gonna better equip you, right? I'm here with Jose Bolaños, founder of Inquebrantable, focused on how do we create unbreakable entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right? So,
resilient, unbreakable, persevering.
let's jump into some ice water. Let's see what happens.
Let's go. All right.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Hate this part. Just do it. Do it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Why are we doing this again? Huh? Why are we doing this?
Claudia schedules these.
What does this have to do with entrepreneurship?
Man.
All right, let's start, man. Different types of challenges that you face as an entrepreneur. That's what we're talking about?
At the end of
Put
the
your
day,
hands
there's a
in.
lot of, dude, this is important, right?
Put your hands in. Put your hands in.
They're
My
in the
hands are in.
sun.
Put your hands
What are you
in.
talking about?
Put them on your legs.
They're in my legs. All right, we're good. We're good.
All right, so.
You know, it's so important, right? Because there's different types of challenges.
Yes.
And we handle them in different ways. In fact,
Well, if you handle it the wrong way, you might make it worse. So you got to understand what type of challenge you're facing and what's the best way to respond, so you won't make it worse. So the first one would be a simple challenge, right?
simple.
Yeah.
My iPhone is going down. It's dying.
Your battery and your phone's dying. What do?
Plug it in.
You plug it in. That's it, right? Simple as that. So simple challenges are predictable. They're under your control. Whatever action you take, you know what the response is going to be, in theory. So you connect your phone, it's going to start charging, right?
And in entrepreneurship, we have a lot of simple
All the time.
all the time, right?
Yeah. Jumping in an ice bath is simple.
Simple. Just do it.
Just
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. So then we have a complicated challenge. So complicated challenge would be something like my phone is going haywire. There's something wrong with my phone. There's something technical wrong with my phone, my screen, something.
I can't fix this.
I can't fix it either.
I don't know what the heck to do.
Or we need somebody to make a video for us. So complicated challenges, you find experts. So experts.
So my marketing agency, I gotta find someone with PPC expertise or SEO,
SEO,
or
PPC,
finance guy.
finance, legal. You got to get legal. Make a contract. When you developed a contract for franchises, did you find a lawyer?
Of course.
Yeah, you found an expert.
Got
To
an
help
expert.
you just don't plug it in, but you're still in an ordered space.
Now, is a complicated challenge as simple for someone?
It is. Yeah,
It's just not simple for me.
it's not simple for you. It might be simple for them.
A mechanic,
Yeah.
easy
Yeah, if they find the problem.
if they find the problem.
Yeah. So you got simple, you got complicated. Those are both ordered, predictable. Some control. The thing about complicated is there's more than one way to handle it. So an architect is going to develop a house in different ways. You're going to have multiple architects giving you different versions, right? Connecting your phone and charging it, that's one way. So then you get into complexity.
This is where it gets fun.
Yeah, as it gets fun because you can't predict what's going to happen. So in complexity, there's multiple variables interconnected. You cannot predict when you take an action what the result's going to be. You can only experiment.
Reminds me of sales. in
Sales?
agency. Hiring people, building a team.
Developing culture, hiring teams, keeping people motivated, keeping people happy.
Because-
You like to keep people happy at the company. That's complex.
And then a lot of times, and this is a perfect example of this, would be, the other day we did a survey of Hite, right? Mm-hmm. We did a survey and we got all these answers. We got 70 something answers. And our average was 4.8 on like overall happiness.
Yeah,
And there was one person,
it wasn't as
Wasn't
happy as
happy.
everyone
it
else.
was like a 3 or a 2
Yeah.
or something.
So how do you
And so
handle that?
Well, I'm treating it like a complicated thing. I'm going, okay, well, I need to figure out the solution.
Yeah.
There's got to be something I'm doing wrong that would affect that person to give me a 5.
Yeah. And facing it that way might make it worse.
Well, as we talked about the other day, this is where it gets interesting, right? Like, it's very complex because this person doesn't, there's so many things involved with that person being happy.
Yeah, and you might not even have control of that.
I don't have control.
Maybe they don't have the ability to be happy, no
Right.
matter what you do.
So even with sales, right? A lot of times, man, why am I not selling? Why am I not selling? And we try to pinpoint it. But there's so many variables, right? Like you can have a product that's, I mean, there's so many variables. Is the client ready? Is the client ready and he has money? Is the client ready, he has money, and the wife approves?
So in complexity, you don't want to force the result. You want to create the conditions to provoke the result. But you can't predict that you're going to make it happen. You can only try experiments, make those experiments safe to fail. So if they go wrong and if they fail, you don't lose the company, you don't lose your life, or any life at all. This is like Elon Musk, sending rockets. A lot of those rockets have failed. So he's safe to fail. He's not putting humans on those rockets yet.
Right.
Yeah. So he's managing the variables, and you start learning. In complexity, you got to learn patterns. You got to learn algorithms. You got to learn what works. But you also got to unlearn because those things change consistently. Those things are always changing. So what worked today might not work tomorrow, or might stop working. And today, the world is so much more complex and it's changing so quickly that what's required of entrepreneurs is that they be complexity capable. Not smart, not experts, complexity capable, which actually means to stop being an expert sometimes. You're not an expert. I think experts are becoming, it'd be hard to say. Experts are becoming, they can expire really quickly, experts. But if you're constantly adapting, complexity requires adaptability, requires innovation, creativity, reinventing yourself, learning, but also unlearning. Make sense? Yeah. So that's complexity. And if you manage any of these challenges, simple, complicated, or complex in a wrong manner, you might fall into the fourth one, which is chaos. Chaos is creating, everything is out of control. You start losing clients, you start losing employees, you start losing health, you start losing finances. Chaos has a high cost. The only reason you want to go into chaos is to disrupt the system and change the status quo. So you might decide in politics, you might want a revolution.
Yeah.
That's chaos. But you want to destroy the status quo so that you can create something new. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're it's getting harder to speak.
No,
So you want to be careful not responding to certain challenges and risking falling into chaos. But here's a great way to summarize this that my mentor used to use to summarize this model. This is based on something called the Cynefin framework. So this is a framework. And he would say, okay, Thanksgiving dinner, what day? What day is Thanksgiving dinner?
Thursday.
Thursday? Last Thursday of November.
Third Thursday, something like that.
Yeah, that's simple.
It's easy.
There's no discussion. Who's going to cook the turkey? Are you going to cook the turkey? Can we have JC cook the turkey?
Grandma's gonna cook turkey.
Grandma's going to cook the turkeys, right? Because she's an expert. So what's the complex challenge?
Getting everyone together?
Getting everybody to get along when they're together. So your brothers, your siblings, your cousins, your mom, your dad, everybody getting along and having fun. So imagine this with your in-laws and everybody having a good time. So what would chaos be if somebody says something that they shouldn't have said? Maybe the brother tells the other brother something about his wife. And
Something in politics
they start fighting. Yeah, you start talking about politics.
Yeah.
You start fighting, you drop the turkey, you destroy the table. And
Now
the cost
chaos.
of chaos is that the two brothers won't speak to each other in the next
6 months.
year or 6 months. But you can use that, in entrepreneurship is like if your brand goes into chaos, if your image goes into chaos, what's the cost of recovery? It could take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to fire someone, or there's all kinds of things.
What
Today,
if a lot of people quit or they go on
well, just today at Hite, man, one of our amazing people got a job offer that's just so awesome, and I'm so pumped for. But it's going to be a little chaotic for a while because it's a role that we're going to have trouble filling.
all right?
It's going to be a little crazy.
Yeah. But I think it's still more complex than chaotic.
Potentially.
Chaotic would be if that person leaves and a bunch of other people start leaving. Then you
Okay.
But right now it's complex. How do we manage this?
Yeah.
I think it's
You're
in the
probably right.
complexity realm still.
And there's ways that we can, chaos can be good, right? It can be provoked, but it can also be really negative, right? And how do we protect ourselves from chaos? Well, a lot of times in business, finances protects us from chaos, right? Like the more
Savings. You use savings.
savings is protect us from freaking out when there was a pandemic,
Yeah.
right?
Insurance. It's also a way to
Insurance.
protect yourself from chaos.
And these things are so simple. It's so easy. It's not complex, the methodology of itself, right? But as entrepreneurs, the more we can understand these, and we can understand what type of problem this is, it allows us to have the freedom to be able to then solve it, right?
Yeah.
Or not solve it.
Yep.
So again, if it's complicated, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me go find someone else. That's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy to go find someone an expert, right? Do the franchise model that we just created. It's all about taking a very complicated thing, a very complex agency, and getting experts, right?
Multiple experts.
Multiple experts,
So
right?
in complexity, you want to work with multiple experts.
Multiple experts,
Yeah.
right? And so you end up having a Yasser, head of fulfillment. You have an Agustina, head of operations. You've got our franchises across the U.S. that are all amazing at sales and building relationships. You got all these people doing what they truly are experts in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the last thing, how do you become more complexity capable? And how do you learn to manage all this? The key here is to be present, to take your time, to, develop some experience, some wisdom, self-control, manage yourself. Because sometimes you don't know what kind of challenge you're dealing with, and you need to stop and really gain perspective. Yeah, that's why you have a leadership and mindset coach.
And we talked about last time these aspects of how it helps ground us, how we focus on our breathing and how we focus on our body and our mindset, and that's part of this ice cold challenge, right? When you're getting in, entrepreneurship is understanding things that, doing things that are hard sometimes, and being willing to just jump in the ice. It's cold, it sucks. My hands right now are numb. I can't feel my toes, but it's okay.
We're having a good conversation.
We're having a great conversation, right? Neither one of us wanted to do this.
That's entrepreneurship.
Right?
Yeah, you got to really want it.
It's awesome.
You got to be hard-headed.
Guys, at the end of the day, it's all about preparing ourselves for whatever future lies, right? Whatever craziness comes up, whatever complex, complicated, chaotic things come up. How can we better prepare ourselves as entrepreneurs?
To respond.
As entrepreneurs, as family members, as friends, right? The more we know about this stuff, the more we can be amazing friends to the guys and women who need it, right? The better we can serve our families, the better we can serve our team.
Yeah.
With that being said, guys, hope y'all enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe. We don't get into this ice cold water for nothing. The ice is starting to dissipate, but I assure you, it's still freaking cold, right?
It's cold.
It's cold. Hope you guys have an incredible day. Be good, be safe, and until next time.